So Pope Francis's 1,189th day as Pope was on Donald Trump's 70th birthday. There's also 1,189 chapters in the King James Bible. Key of David equals 1,189 in Gematria. Donald J. Trump equals 1,189 in Jewish Gematria. And if you go back and watch my videos around the Super Bowl time, there's a whole lot of stuff in regards to the Key of David. I'm surprised in regards to Michael Keaton. I didn't even mention Michael Keaton. I know I mentioned that at some point a long time ago. But I even talked about the Colin Kaepernick stuff in regards to the national anthem and whatnot. Francis Scott Key and the Key of David is mentioned in the Bible in regards to the Church of Philadelphia, and Pope Francis's last place he visited when he came to America was Philadelphia. Francis got key is what it sounds a lot like Francis got the Key of David possibly. I also mentioned how Melania Trump just came out and said that she's Catholic after her and Donald Trump met Pope Francis, and she keeps getting compared to Jackie Kennedy, who was the wife of the only Catholic president, JFK, who was also the 35th president, right? Catholic equals 35, the only Catholic president. The Jesuits also began with Pope Paul III, and he was the one who also did the final excommunication of King Henry VIII, who was married to Catherine of Aragon, and her parents were the ones who funded Christopher Columbus. And that's where all the flat earth stuff really ties into it. Whether the earth is round, flat, or something else, that's not even what I'm not even here to debate that. I'm not that worried about it at this point. I'm just pointing out the fact that there is a lot of flat earth stuff that is on YouTube. There's a lot of flat earth type stuff in the media. You know, it's something that's getting more popular, and it has been super connected to a lot of other media stories and interrelated, you know. So Queen Isabella was Catherine of Aragon's mother, and she's the one who funded Christopher Columbus and whatnot. I noticed her name in Gematria, Queen Isabella I equals 132, just like Catholic Church. And then King Henry VIII equals 191 in reverse, just like Society of Jesus. He was even replaced by Edward VI, who was born on 10/12, of 1537, which was the 45th anniversary of Columbus supposedly discovering America, even though there was already people here. I also pointed out King Edward VI equals 71, like Catholic. Pope Francis is 46 popes after Paul III, who was the 220th pope. The word Catholic in the reverse method equals 46. I also pointed out in regards to the Jesuit order, and possibly maybe Pope Francis is going to get assassinated or something along the lines of that. Or, you know, there's just some type of coding for him that's connected to this year and the Jesuit anniversary. Or I guess, yeah, because he's going to be 81 years old this year, and the Jesuit anniversary is 81 days before his 81st birthday. It's also 2 months, 20 days, and I don't know, just thinking about Paul III being the 220th pope. Donald Trump also met Pope Francis on his 4th month and 4th day in office, and it was also on the 144th day of the year. If you write out 44, it equals 144. Trump's the 44th person to be president, and throughout history, the number 44 has been connected to death, whether that's actually him being, you know, dying in office, or whether that's just like the death of his presidency. 44 is often a number you see around some type of death. The first president to die in office died on April 4th, 4-4. Abraham Lincoln even had a dream that he was going to die 10 days before he got shot on April 4th, 4-4. And then he died 10 days later. If you write out 10 days later, it equals 144. JFK died on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius equals 144. And JFK also died 144 days after meeting Pope Paul VI. And it was in the year 1963. So there's this interesting parallel in regards to him meeting the Pope and how it's connected to Donald Trump meeting the Pope as well. Like I said, JFK died 5 months, 24 days after his birthday, and Donald Trump this year met Pope Francis on 5/24, May 24th. And a lot of stuff has been connected to the reverse methods this year. A lot of stuff, almost everything has been connected to reverse gematria. And the reason that's interesting is because JFK died at the age of 46 in Dallas, Texas. That equals 71, Dallas, Texas, like Catholic. Remember the word Catholic in reverse equals 46. And Donald Trump was born in the year 46. I also pointed out that JFK was born in the year 17, and Donald Trump was 17 years old when JFK died, and now we're in the year 2017. And if you write out 17 in gematria, it equals 46 and also 44, right? So 17 has a connection to Catholic. If you write out 46, it equals 46 and also 44, just like the word 17. I also pointed out that Pope Paul VI died 51 days before his own birthday, and he became Pope 5 months and 1 day after JFK's second year as president. And then JFK died 5 months, 1 day after Pope Paul became the president, or the Pope. And all the stuff in regards to Batman and whatnot. Remember, Donald Trump said he was Batman at the Iowa State Fair. And then we just got the death of Batman. But Batman equals 51. Last year, I was pointing out that Donald Trump is exactly 15 years, 51 days older than Barack Obama. I also pointed out that Pope Francis was 15 years old in the year 51. And also Queen Elizabeth II became the queen exactly 51 years, 15 days after Queen Victoria died. And then, of course, Donald Trump was super connected to Cleveland, who just lost the NBA Finals and whatnot. He did his Republican National Convention in Cleveland 187 days before he took office. Society of Jesus and the reverse method equals 187, but Cleveland equals 51, LeBron James 51, Quicken Loans 51. They won their first sports championship last year for the first time in 51 years, but it was also 5 months and 23 days. 51 years, 5 months, 23 days. A bunch of stuff has been foreshadowed to the date of 523 or the number 523 in Donald Trump. And Donald Trump just so happens to equal 523 in satanic gematria. But moving along here, I also pointed out Jackie Kennedy equals 117 in gematria, and JFK died 117 days after her birthday. You know, there's some theories that she supposedly shot him and whatnot, but just interesting. He dies 117 days after her birthday. Her name equals 117. And in regards to JFK's wife, I pointed out that Trump's wife, they got married on January 22nd, 122. Pope Francis equals 122. And Melania's real name is Melania Navs, or however you say that. It equals 132, just like Catholic Church. And then she comes out and says that she's a Catholic after meeting Pope Francis. So almost done with this super duper long post. I did not know it was going to take me this long to talk about it. It's super long-winded. I'm sorry. There's just so much to explain and so much to try to remember here. But one last thing on this post, I mentioned on the comments on Father Paul's obituary. This one stuck out to me because this lady was talking about she was a victim of child abuse and whatnot. And it has nothing to do with Father Paul or whatever. She's just was talking to him or whatever, and she said that he said, this not baggage but a pile of shit. And when I did that in gematria in the quotes here, it equaled 326, this number that I keep talking about in regards to Gabriel. And the lady who wrote it, her name is Karen Chamberlain, that equals 135, just like the word Gabriel in reverse gematria. And also, Father Paul's full name, Paul Joseph Strittmatter, equals 135. And the reason I even noticed this is because, like I'm saying, there's certain things that I'm just mentally drawn to for no apparent reason. There was 20 other comments, and this was the only one that really stuck out to me. I was reading it, and I was like, well, I'm talking about child abuse and molesting kids, and this lady's talking about being a victim of child abuse. And then you go through it, and it has all of these numbers that were connected to what has led me to get this better understanding of how these things in my own life are connected to, mainstream media articles, mainstream movies. I don't know. I just don't. The most confusing part is if they can do this, and if it's humans doing this, and they can make me, manipulate my mind and make me think of certain things just before they happen, or anything else, the things that I'm documenting here, then what is the point of even doing false flags, or what is the point of putting hoax stories in the media? It really doesn't make any sense. If they can literally control people's minds, what is the point of making obvious hoaxes? Unless for whatever the reason, what I'm showing is something that everybody can do, and there are people who just have a greater understanding of this, and they know how it works a lot better than I do, and for some reason they have to make these hoaxes in order to get it to align or to work. But even then, it didn't really happen. So what is the purpose? It's not following. It's a false script. It's not something that's truly has happened. And all of these things that I'm showing are something that have truly happened. So you would think that would have a little more purpose into how it would all work. Possibly I'm just such a beginner of trying to understand what is exactly going on that I don't see the point of why they would do hoaxes when they can control your mind. It just doesn't really seem to make all that much sense. And why would they control my mind to help me get a better understanding if they don't want people to understand this? There's just lots of things that don't make sense. That's why I'm making these videos, to show other people the things that are happening and how they sync up, and hopefully people can get a better understanding for themselves by understanding my story and what I am talking about. Even like the death of Batman, that I told you I was wearing that Batman pin that had Batman, Robin, and Batgirl on it, the Lego Batman thing at work. Randomly, my boss asked me if I wanted to wear it. We were joking that we look cool with these Batman pins. And then the next day, I find out that Batman died that day. And I even specifically talked in my blog about the movie Batman and Robin because of Batgirl. That's the only movie that Batgirl's in. And then the next 2 days after that, we got a story about Joel Schumacher, the director of the Batman and Robin movie, came out and said that he apologizes for that film because it was so terrible. I mean, the movie came out 20 years ago. I specifically talked about that movie a whole lot in my blog post, and then we get a mainstream media article in regards to that movie. And I've tried to watch it. I keep falling asleep because it really is truly a terrible movie. But I'm just saying that because I'm not always predicting things, but the things that I am talking about always seem to come up within a very short amount of time after I talk about it. So, leave it at that. I want to talk about a whole bunch of other blog posts, and hopefully I will get the time. And hopefully I can make them shorter and more to the point but I really just feel the need I need to explain a lot of things. Anyway, have a good one.